Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And oh my gosh, guys, this energy is so intense right now. Like it just got really, really intense not long before. Although, if you look at the Schumann resonance, I'm pulling it up on my phone because I have an app. But look at oh goodness, see that huge, all that red energy right there. Right here is where we are right now. It started at 5 a.m. Central Time, so 12 hours ago. But we're in, and then there's a bunch of Earth-facing coronal holes that are giving us a bunch of like a CME storm that we've been having a CME storm now for 5 days. So it's just a lot of energy, a lot of stuff happening. So if that's you and you're going through some stuff, don't have to feel bad. Or you're not alone, right? And also on top of that, just before I introduce my guest, I know I'm going on, but is that right before about 30 minutes ago, actually, it really started to change and shift for me. Oh yeah, look at that. See all that yellow on the top of that map? I know it's my phone. It's better if I pull up an image, but that yellow and green right there on the top of the map, they call that a polar absorption rate. It's caused by like this CME storm that we've been having for 5 days. So our planet is echoing like a bell with this energy. So if you're going through increased ascension symptoms, you're not alone. Some people are having more euphoria. Some people are having some serious dips, in emotions. So anyway, I just want you all to know you're not alone and we're with you here. Having said all of that, thank you, Cherokee, for letting me go on for a second.
That's good.
I'm so excited to invite you to introduce you, my friend Cherokee. I've been talking to her for a long time. It's been a while. And every time that we connect, like stuff comes up and then like it, a month or so later, it turns out everything that came up we talked about is provable.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always a fun conversation. So anyway, how are you today? Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Awesome. I wanted to tell you about the ascension symptoms too.
Please.
I think that, it now totally makes sense because my son is like knocked out like crazy sleeping. Like all night he's up. I mean, yeah, all night he'll be up and he'll be asleep all day. And like the patterns of sleep are just like, it's not just us. And I'm starting to realize too that I guess when I was making my my to-go plan for down here, kids are my thing.
Yeah.
The kids are my thing. And I'm like, duh. So if I end up talking about kids, I'm starting to notice too, because he's very telepathic, that a lot of the conversation, a lot of things I say are really him. I was like, oh, I thought I was so brilliant. He's popping it, telling me things. Like, he even renamed this rocks I wanted to sell. I wanted to sell these starseed stones, right? And I said, Yoshi, what would you like me to sell your stones at? And he told me rainbow rocks. And I was like, okay, fine. I thought starseed stones were so cool. He's like, no, they're rainbow rocks. I was like, okay. But he told me this in my mind, rainbow rocks. I was like, okay. And I'm starting to understand, like, it's not, I don't hear something different, like a different voice or a different, it's my own thought, my own sound. But when you get to a point when you can trust, it's more of a, like, okay, I know it wasn't me. Because I, like, it's like, before I was conscious of my own thoughts, I would have said, oh, that's my thing, but now that I've humbled myself and, like, conscious of, just like when you put out the question, the first thing I get back before I ask all these questions, analyze it, now you deconstructed the message. Now it's your ego at your own answer.
Right.
If you just let it pop in and let it come through, like I did with the freaking rainbow rocks.
Right.
Because I just said that, and the very first thought I had was rainbow rock. And I knew it was him because it was quick, So, yes, so that's awesome.
The telepathy with her. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Happy birthday, Maddie. I missed it.
Can I say the other birthday? Is that private?
No.
Happy birthday to you. I actually started to ask really fast before we went live, and I didn't ask fast, and I forgot to ask. And sometimes that's those things people don't want to share. So happy birthday
That's
to you.
okay. A lot of people say they don't want to tell their age. I'm like, why? You know, all of a sudden look older. You know, all of a sudden look younger. It's like whatever. I don't even know my age half the time. Just
I
somebody
know.
else. Like I think that's why I had to ask you. I was gonna ask you how old are we, but somebody just asked me, "Are you were born in 1980?" I was like, "No." So, oh, so you're not 47? I was like, "No." So I guess I'm 46. I don't know. Wait, 40. How old
Wait,
are
no,
you?
that would be
We're
so you're
46.
younger
We're
than me,
45.
so you'd be 45 now.
No, I was born 79 like you.
Oh, okay.
That's so like
So
how
you're
old are you?
46.
I was like, I don't know how old are we?
I had to think about it too.
Exactly. I'm like, because I'm just this. I'm still me. You
Yeah,
know? That's
yeah.
just a label. You're not all of a sudden older.
You're getting a
I'm
lot of
still.
birthday wishes in the audience too. Cara says
Oh,
happy
thank
birthday,
you.
Cherokee. Jess says happy birthday, Virgo Queen.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
Lavender
I
Sky
got that.
Panther says hi all, plus happy
Hi,
birthday,
Varley.
Cherokee.
Oh, speaking of Varley, Lavender Sky Panther, I follow her advice about getting something just from nature. Like, even like I had a walking stick, Meadow Street Wood.
Yeah,
It helped. I even
good.
had, I was holding, I was like, I even had a river, I have the big Shiva Lingam that I have, a river rock. I just like grab anything. It's like you said, it's like, oh, they're
Yeah,
off the charts right now.
I'm
Yeah.
happy that you did that. Yeah, it really is. It's incredible. And like you were mentioning the telepathy, with your son,
Mm-hmm.
that's increasing for everybody, whether or not they have a child or someone that,
Mm-hmm.
like this, that we this example, I would agree with you that the conversations that we have with our children these days
Mm-hmm.
to let telepathically is like it's like on steroids.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Like noticing you're feeling tired, really, really tired, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you're not tired anymore.
Right.
This is something I've always had since she was a baby. And all of a sudden you're not tired anymore and you realize they're asleep. You've been
Exactly.
feeling they're tired, but now it's turning into something more. And
Mm-hmm.
so just trust it and go into the flow, like you said. Just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are things that aren't going to actually like, there's no profound, uh, unfavorable result if we just
Right.
listen to these things. It's
Right.
not like you're
Exactly.
being told to jump off a cliff or something crazy.
I, I think we're connected. I was just about to
You were thinking
use
that one.
that analogy.
Yeah, it popped in my head. I didn't think it was mine.
Okay, it's mine. Give it back.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Oh, that's funny. And
Lavender
plus,
Sky Panther says thank you. Oh, thank you, gorgeous Cherokee. Plus, I love your name.
thank you for reading them back. I wanted to tell all the Soul family I love every watching. If I don't say something like you wrote on the comment and I read it, that's because my eyes are kind of wonky.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
I
I've
don't
learned not to touch
always
nothing.
read them when we're doing an interview. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I try to I read everybody's comments. I just don't always read them out loud when I'm doing an interview because I don't want to interrupt the person. But uh, if I can fit it in there without being rude, I will.
You're never rude. I love you too much for you to be rude. Unless you cuss me out
Oh,
there, like you know what, Mila, you're being very rude, but I've never known you
I
to
can't
be
imagine.
rude. Even when we step on each other with words, I don't care. I can be quiet. I just get so excited. I start going.
I know we all do that, and I think that's something else. Is why can you? We won't feel like that's rude because we know each other and we're the
Mm-hmm.
same as one another. And so you wanted to go a little bit into the Ascension symptoms. Do you want to talk about what you're experiencing with it, with more than telepathy? Are you having some of the like just the crazy energies going on right now? Are you noticing things are changing for you? I'm
Well,
just
I was
curious.
also because, as you all know, my body decided we're gonna go through ataxia. So, ataxia has a lot of the same symptoms as ascension. So the dizziness, I'm like, okay, so which one is it? It should be
Right.
ataxia. But I've been getting
Yeah.
more dizzy lately, and it's not a gradual thing. It's like an all of a sudden thing. So I know it's the Ascension, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if it's faster, like, if it's gradual, it's more the ataxia. If it hits me hard and fast, I know it's the Ascension. So I've been having a lot of ascension, a lot of dizziness, a lot of unsteadiness, and I just moved too, and it's a lot of energy right here. So I have to recalibrate and rebalance how my energy to match where I am now. Because as you know, I'm like in a huge quartz area, which is an energy amplifier. So it's like, okay, great. But I think that because I accepted my mission for these kids and be a hold of the frequency and help them usher in, I've been having so many kids around me and star seeds, and they're labeled as autistic, but they're not negatively the name autistic in my brain. They're super high vibratory. So I'm in a space to where it's gonna be. I'm creating a space for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For them to come, so it's like so they can do. I have my friend does like yoga, so we're gonna have yoga in Yoshi's yard. But it's gonna be all the kids, especially the kids on the spectrum. I'm gonna have like a sensory shed, so when stuff gets too overwhelming, they can go in the shed and break it down. A lot of these kids are dealing with this like ABA therapy and don't do this and don't do that, or they'll like have what you call. I used to call Yoshi toys rescue toys because he would play with little toys, but they would keep him calm. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they're having a meltdown because you guys are wanting them to have fire from 2 cylinders. Imagine you can fire from 5 cylinders, but you want them to do a 2-cylinder task. Okay, so keep the other 3 cylinders busy with this toy. Don't take his toy away. I'm like, if this makes him happy and calm, then let him have it. You're asking him to do all these things. I was like, okay, Yoshi. I decided to just go ahead and be his voice and speak for him because I think that he comes through quite a bit when we chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. I'll say what I want to say too, but I'll let you speak. I'll say what you want me to say. Because you like talking about the telepathy tapes. Have you heard of those?
Yeah. So, you mind if I just take a moment to kind of introduce this a tiny bit?
Go ahead.
So, for those who don't know in the audience, Cherokee here has a nonverbal star child who has some amazing spiritual gifts, and she's taught. If you missed the earlier part of this conversation, we're talking about how the telepathy with the child is really with these star children is really like picking up these days, and like as the mother, but also as the father, of course, but then also as the aunts and the uncles and the cousins and the nieces and nephews and everyone's finding that the nonverbal autistic children, a lot of them, not only are they super high frequency, but they just weren't being heard because their telepathy wasn't able to be understood. And so you have this background. How old is your star child, by the way?
He'll be 7 now.
So 7 years old, that's like a lot of really still, yeah. And so you were getting ready to tell us some more that now I've kind of introduced that concept.
Okay. I love those kids in the whole series it makes me emotional because I know how hard it is to be a speller. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Yes. It makes me happy to know they're singing. It is becoming. Oh my gosh. Stop it.
It's okay.
It's becoming mainstream. Yeah. It's good to cry. It's very releasing. Yes, but as they're saying, I love it. Because they're being seen now. It's so awesome. Yeah. But I am so thankful to the older ones. Because he paved the way for the younger ones.
Yeah.
Mhm. Say something else because
Okay. Well, can I talk about this some more? Should we leave this
please do.
topic? Okay. And this is my background. I don't. Those of you who don't know, that was what I did as a career. I um, worked, assisted, and helped people with a variety of disabilities, but typically they were individuals who were like um, late teens to adulthood with severe, profound intellectual disabilities, preventing them from, them not having any access to speech and so on and so forth. And I'm going to tell you right now that most of the most profound experiences I've had with individuals was when I was in that field, and I knew that we were in the audience of wise masters that were being forcefully medicated, like, and
Mhm.
it's so it was frustrating to have watched that, some of them are even a lot of the things that are being given to these children are at least at the time they were legally categorized as chemical restraints,
Mhm.
and we're finding now this to be lightened up a lot, that there's more awareness and understanding, and this has been going on for at least 100 years. I mean, we're realizing about history, what history really is and stuff. We're finding out this has all just been like about 120-year experiment or so, and in that time, a lot of people paved the way for those who are coming in now, who can have understanding, love, and know that they have worth, value, and assets to bring to the table. In fact, many of them have more than I have to bring to the table, or a lot of us, you know what I mean? And so it's a real beautiful period, but it's also, I agree with you. You look back at these other individuals and you're just like, because so many of them have been, when this is the thing I'm going to say, and I'm just going to kind of pull away from that a little bit, and you can say what you want about it. But when I was in this field, I never thought how strange it was that it was just expected that having a what's called a disability, or at least what was called a disability. I don't think they use those words anymore. But
Okay.
anyway, what was called?
Differently abled.
What was that?
Differently abled. That's
There you go.
perfect.
Differently abled. Um, oh gosh, I lost what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
It's okay. I just got stuck in the um darn it. Oh yeah. Uh uh it was just generally accepted that if you have one of something that limits your IQ
Mhm.
by measurement of how we measure IQ, then that will just naturally cause you to have an early death. Your
Right.
mortality rate is your life expectancy is usually within the 30s to 40s range. Like, that's just generally accepted. And I hadn't even realized until I left the field for other reasons, but that makes no sense apart from medications that we're giving them. And
Right.
what I had done, most of my job as I climbed the ladder was to take these clients to a bunch of different doctors. They would go every 3 weeks, every 3 to 6 weeks or so, sometimes a little less frequently. But, and then they would take blood and say, and check for their therapeutic levels of medication. And they usually deduce that they required some other medication or an increase in the medication they're already taking. Also, if something stopped working, they'd say, well, it once worked, so we're going to keep them on that, even though it's not working anymore. And we're going to give them something different. And it was always the newest thing that they had, the pen and little toys and stuff they were giving out. So it was obviously a new medication. And these people I was bringing to these doctors were being guinea pigs. They were literally, you could see it now, stepping back. That was what was causing their early demise. You know, like, many of them you have it in man it's set up for 5 times a day medications. A lot of people were taking them 3 times a day, but many were 5 times a day, you know, all kinds of stuff. And what I'm trying to show here, it not is to say, I'm not telling you to do or not do something, anyone listening in or whatever, but I've noticed this is this way of thinking is starting to clear a bit by more and more people understanding what perhaps some of big pharma is all about instead of what we thought it was for. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad to be here now.
You know what? I was just listening. I feel like vibes that's too emotional, but I got that was transmutation. I cried for the collective of
Yeah.
them. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody felt me and like hold that space because I was like, why am I so emotional? I asked internally, like, why I cry like that? And I was transmuting for the whole line. So that makes sense. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh, for
I'm grateful.
yeah. I feel like that's what most of my tears are too.
Right.
Typically.
You're right,
Yeah.
transmutation. I was like, okay. Well, okay, think I'm glad. Well, I wasn't embarrassed that I cried on the show, but I'm like, I didn't want to get emotional. I wanted to, but I
Yeah.
guess that was like, okay. So,
Well, that's what we're here to do, right?
exactly. Exactly. So I'm like, okay, I'm grateful to be able to do what I do, you know? And if that means I have to come on your show and cry with my family, then I'll just come on your show and cry with my family. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and when I've talked to Spirit about it, they always refer to crying as spiritual technology. And in fact, it's I know this sounds strange to say it, but the way that I've always understood it through my conversations with Spirit has to be that um, that crying is a skill that is Pleiadian born. So it's like a Pleiadian kind of thing. And right now we are in the year of the snake, and the snake is transmutation. I don't know if you know that.
No, but that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
also the shedding of the skins that don't serve you. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff about it. There's the ability to uh, transmute has a lot to do with the venom and those, like, you know, speaking of a lot of the stuff that we just mentioned, big pharma, and then the conglomerate and what happened in 2020 and stuff, you
Right.
know, but then all that before it, we're transmuting for the planet, for ourselves, for um and everyone's doing it at the same time. I Are you noticing the left side of your body having
Mm-hmm.
more stuff right now? Me too. It's been
It's
really
my
weird.
shoulders been like so. I was like, what? I can hardly lift it. So I'm like, is this a birthday gift? I'm getting arthritis in my shoulder. But my whole left side has been like doing all kind of stuff. My shoulder, my eye has been like, I don't know. It's been like my whole, like you said, left side.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. I can't. And
So like feminine.
I started feeling stuff in my left side, like, and then it turned into I had a whole bunch of, like, my skin. You get the knot acne.
Mm-hmm.
The weird. I'm trying to find something I'd written earlier a while ago, but while I'm talking, though, and then it just started to purge out, and I was really really happy that it's on its, like, but it's still happening. Like, I'm still getting it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's crazy. Um, so with that, just keeping that in mind for anybody in the audience, I when I first started having it, I started to, like, I'd go to that, like, mortality thing of, like, it's the left side of the body, and left arm and left shoulder and left this and left and like filling it up in the neck right here, really, like, weird, almost like something was moving through my body, and so I really started to pick up on the using the parasite cleansing stuff, just because,
Mm-hmm.
we know that whatever we put in our bodies, what intention we code it with, it
Right.
does apply to it in some way, even in the
Mm-hmm.
smallest way,
Mm-hmm.
but so that's happening with, and other people are saying that they're having the same thing, like this here. Joshua said, dude, left side is so tense. Right. I just want to rub it out. Like I've had a
Right.
just like
Exactly. And if I can't get outside for grounding, I have a grounding mat for the house.
yeah.
I live either on the mat because I'm trying to ground and take the inflammation out. Helps me out a lot.
Especially if I was drawing with my daughter. Oh, you won't be able to see it. It won't let it. It won't. Oh, it's kind of showing the snail.
She is so awesome. I can't wait for her to do her she's gonna start her own shows.
She's kind of been pulling back from that, but she's doing the same thing that Yoshi's doing. She's sleeping some crazy hours. You know, like it's slowly getting better, but at the peak of summer, she was staying up until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so not lonely.
That was one time, but still.
I thought that I was like, I can't tell nobody this. They're like, you're a bad parent. I'm like,
No.
I can't help.
Those of us who can, there was a handful of times that this summer I've had to reschedule appointments because I was still awake.
I thought I heard something, but I guess not. I thought I heard him. Is that Paula? Is she there? Yes. Can you see Paula?
Yeah, I do.
She's always there.
She's still got.
Every time I take a picture, she's there. I'm like, she's a photo bomber too.
I just happened to put by the notes from our last conversation, and like when you were like talking about nonverbal, and what Yoshi had said. That can I say it? Can I tell them? That was so funny.
Of course you can.
He came in. And he's like, I can talk to you, Mama.
Yeah, he can. He talked before.
He was channeling through me. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. He's always around. Like he's always popping in and talking to people, and I'll be like he'll be at school, and I'll be at a sound bath or Reiki or whatever, right? And he's coming down. I'm like, dude, go back to school. Why are you here? I'm trying to have a little moment. But people that don't understand that you can be somewhere, have another aspect of you, somewhere else. But he was like totally not in his body.
Right.
That sent you that picture of him. They took his picture at school, and he had all these light rays coming out of his body. But that's when I was in that sound bath class.
Right.
I was like, here I am in a light class. I got a light in my light gathering class, and Yoshi's at school generating light. Yay! I'm like, we're so connected. It's so funny. I was going to tell you about him talking. He did say one time to my uncle, thank you, but it sounded like it didn't come from, it sounded like a grown person. We're like, is that what you sound like?
Yeah.
And of course, he didn't talk anymore because I know we're like, if you guys don't respond like that, I can say nothing else. I was like, okay, sorry, but I can't say something. That's funny. I tell them all the time, I said, not everybody is telepathic and can listen to you. You better use your words, dude.
Right.
So people talk to people in these, I'm sure.
Even the children who have been, talkers are like I'm finding to be it's frustrating because that's again coming from my background of being like, in the social work world. I just have it ingrained in me. Use your words. Use your words. And like that's just something we, and we had taught, the individuals that we assisted how to use sign language, some simple signs, and stuff. And but because of that, I mean, this is something that is just part of who I am throughout all the different relationships I've had too. It's like I may know what you're saying and what you
right.
But if you don't use your words, I'm not going to respond to you. And it's really frustrating to people. But I'm noticing that I'm having to say that a lot to my daughter these days. And she's just like, you can feel my heart though. Like, why? Why do I need to?
Why do I need to use my words?
and like, so that's something that's happening, it's
And
a
I've
real
also noticed too that I think that, we're given certain things so we can understand. So I was put in a certain position so that I can
thing.
be able to speak about stuff and people not listen to me because I don't have that background,
Mhm.
because I was a nurse for a decade. A nurse practitioner had my almost a decade, like I don't remember. But being that I had that Western medicine background, things that I say aren't so woo woo. It's like, you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
not just. It has some validity to other people that are not there yet. So it's cool. But I also understand too, because I had this ataxia. I don't have it. I'm not assigning myself to it. This temporary. I tell everybody it's temporary, but it affects your speech. So sometimes I slur, but I understand it's hard. In my brain, it doesn't sound like that.
Right.
But when I try to talk, it sounds. I'm like, duh. That's why they would rather just not talk because it's a lot of words to talk.
Right.
So I'm like, even when when I tell a joke, it's funny to me, but it doesn't come out right because people don't understand. I'm
Yeah.
like cracking myself up because it's funny to me, but when I try to say it, it's not funny because people don't hear half
Doesn't
of it.
matter. It doesn't. I don't find it. I don't know. For me, I'm that person though. I'll just laugh at my own jokes by myself. I don't. I really don't care. I mean, rolling tears down my face, kind of
Oh my
laughter.
gosh,
But
exactly. And I knocked out too because my dad was hilarious, right? He's on the other side of the veil. Now, as like, because I'll be driving and cracking up laughing, or I'd be at a light. I know people at the red light are like, because I'm just laughing, right?
yeah,
I asked myself, I said, okay, who's cracking me up?
yeah.
And a girl behind me at the botanical garden, it was empty except for these two people. And he said, okay, leave a message for Paul. And that was my dad's name was Paul. I was like, okay, so was you, Dad. Thanks.
That's
You
awesome.
tell me jokes. I'm like, you're so hilarious. But you have to just be able to pay attention to the signs and synchronicities because things just link up and link up and link up. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I know you know, but yeah.
And we're like in this place where we're being shown to pay more attention. Things, time slippage, and the weird stuff that's happening with all of
Oh
that.
my God.
And there's a community. Before we go away too much from the telepathy topic, is this group telepathy is coming online in a really interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
And I still will require a voice, to like someone speaking like you and I are speaking, to
Mm-hmm.
confirm or uh, decline something,
Mm-hmm.
like I confirm it, or we're not going to meet, kind of thing. But other than that, I'm finding to that way of communicating be so much more efficient, and this is something that's happening to me, dude. Like, I don't. What I need to do is spend more time just like every day. Okay, now it's pen time, and you have a pen and pad, and just let the channeling come out, because anytime that I engage with people who I'm reading something they wrote,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm trying to respond to a simple message that was written to me, it
Mm-hmm.
gets hijacked. Like, yeah, either what I'm reading someone's message and I go into a download, it triggers
Right.
a download. And so my eyes may be moving through the rest of the words, but I'm not actually retaining any of it because I'm in download.
Right.
And then I realize I just read like 7 pages of someone's message, and it's like, well, I don't have time to go back and read it a second
Right.
time. I never got, or I'm responding and it turns into a channeled message. And it's not even meant for them exactly. It's
I'm
just,
not the only one. Okay.
Right?
Thank you for that validation because I'm like responding to a text and I'll be like, I'm thinking it's gonna be like a couple sentences, right? And then there's been this long message, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to realize that these are channel messages.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll just send them because I was like, oh, that's pretty profound and pretty wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll send that. Oh, that's nice. And like, I used to like I was practicing doing these medical qigong, like basically like Reiki, like distance Reiki. But I was doing it at night when you used to go to sleep. So I would tell people what I got. I would send the message to myself because who wants a message at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m.? Nobody. So I send it to myself. And then when I wake up, I'll send the message, right? And a message I had wrote was, thank you for letting us work on you. I was like, us? I was like, what the out? I thought it was me. But that goes to show that when I wrote that, it was a channel message. Because why did I type us? You know, it wasn't us, it was
Right.
me. But clearly it was us. So it's cool. You know, the person they had to accept and allow you to work in them. I asked permission ahead of time. I don't just willy nilly do stuff. I asked them before. And they allow and accept and they like type the message they accept. So of course that opens it up for universal healing and different energies to come through and help that person heal. So that's what I was doing. But I was like, yeah, that was a channel message. Thank you for letting us. I was like, us, okay.
Yeah. You could usually tell. There's like I find that they'll still use the vocabulary we have access to so we know what the words mean,
Right.
but it's done in such a concise way that it just doesn't sound like me talking.
Yeah, it's
You know,
not
like
a way that you would use it.
yeah,
I've noticed like sometimes it'll be like words that I know, but I wouldn't use. So like a lady, like last I was doing said, so how's that? How do you feel? And I said, I feel like a lightning rod. And I was like, I'm not from an area where we have or use lightning rods. I've heard of them,
right.
but I had to look it up and see what it meant. And I was like, well, duh. If I have to look up something, I said that's another way I know that it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh wow, I did that. Yikes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm a light. I was like, no wonder I cried for this other person. It's like, so they can experience the storm differently. You get hit with, you raise the frequency is high and everything's coming through. So we need to come down with you and back up all this energy so they can experience it less. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense to yeah, we definitely take the brunt of the energy as it comes in. Like and most often I remember when that's actually why I started to do the ascension symptoms at all. It was like
Mhm.
they called it a lighthouse, but it's that lightning rod example is probably better. It's just because the brunt of the storm, the lighthouse takes the brunt of the storm, and it's also
Mhm.
the light that shines out to those lost in the oceans.
Mhm.
And the ocean is the symbol of water and spirit.
Right.
I mean,
Mhm.
ocean and spirit. Um, but yeah, there's something that's really cool about this too. I wanted to kind of I've discovered something. I've probably said this enough times that many of you probably have already heard me comment on it. However, there's this uh, thing that came out in 2020 or thereabout. It might have been 2019, where people realized that there are two camps. Not even like that this is one against the other. It's just there's two
Right.
types of people. There are the people who hear a dialogue of some kind in their mind. Right?
Mhm.
Usually it's their own voice. Sometimes it's the voices of others, but it's typically your own voice. If you like when you're thinking of how to spell something, you hear your own voice. Those types of, you
Right.
know, almost like a narrating of your day
Right.
sometimes. And then there are people who don't have that. And everybody who were one or the other are shocked to hear about the other group. Everyone
Mhm.
thinks that everyone's like them, right? That, and this is one thing I found really interesting is that most of the people who don't hear an internal dialogue like that don't channel.
Oh, really? Oh,
And most of our channeled messages sounds like
interesting.
our voice.
Thank you for that. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Well, guys, I guess I'm in the I hear it camp because I thought everyone heard all these. I was like, if I don't be quiet, no, I get it. Okay, great. Well,
Yeah.
I thought everybody could hear something. Just like when I close my eyes, it's not completely dark. It always looks like somebody's has a flashlight on. I can like how like your eyes are closed, and it's not. Well, people are like, yeah, it's black. I'm like, "Mm, no, when I close my eyes, I
Right.
was like, it's not pitch black. The only time I actually saw like black was during an acupuncture session, and they hit this point. I think it's called in tongue. This point right here,
Uh-huh.
and everything. They hit it, and it went black. Everything went completely black, and I was like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the needle would like push it, like my I guess my third eye, that area pushed the needle back out, and it turned really hard, so they couldn't put it back in when they tried. And I was like, oh, see, that means that you're not supposed to do that. So don't do that ever again. I was like, don't do it again. You're sticking the needle in my eye. Stop. That's funny. 'Cause I know
Yeah.
it's not exactly that one area, but I know it's connected, energetically connected. But still, just that spot was like a no. That's a no spot for me.
I've
I'm
had
not
that
saying
happen too.
nobody.
I know what you're talking about. And but it wasn't acupuncture. It was sometimes there's only been two real times that I've really noticed this happening, windows of time where it's happening for a bit, is it has like this squelching, squealing kind of sound, like coming in from my third eye.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like this amazing euphoric thing happens. That's I'll go to just before, and I'm getting all kinds of like, I mean, I've actually never taken acid. I just refer to these kinds of things
Oh
as
my
acid.
gosh.
So
Everybody's talking about it.
yeah, like you see a lot of examples, like we just watched Yellow Submarine, you know, like so we see examples of what that's supposed to that look, and that is very much my world. I mean, so
Right.
I never really needed to take acid, you know. I see energy really, not all the time, but anyway, um, that was what I was seeing when that was happening, and then there was this little delay thing that happened that right at that time, both of my ears started ringing very loudly and it stopped. Whatever awesomeness was happening in my third eye. And for that split second, I had that blackness. And it was the most bizarre thing to have. Because I mean, I'll have like the backdrop of blackness. That'll usually like be like the presentation board of something they're showing me, you know? Like it looks like you're in outer space, but there's like light things being driven,
Something right.
you know? Anyway,
Like this backdrop. Yeah, but the complete blackness,
yeah.
I don't like it. I don't see nothing. I don't like this.
It's weird. I feel like that there's more and more we're being shown that we're, the negative. That's the word that they use. And we should probably find a better word, but it's you take a picture of something and then you have the film, and the
Mhm,
film has blackness where there's white and white where there is blackness,
mhm,
you know, and
mhm,
once you put that on paper, well, it almost feels like this. I guess that's like inverted colors, you
mhm,
know. It feels like that's kind of what's happening for us in our understanding of space now too, is
mhm,
that stuff that looks dark is actually light,
mhm.
and so if that's because no space is empty.
Right.
it's it's all full.
It's helpful. That's interesting. I love it here too. The energy here is so different. I feel like Like there's less people, less Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's like it's more remote. Oh, I'm in heaven. Yeah, and I was like, I used to live like on the coast, and you can see like I don't know if you know about this side of the coast, like Southern California, like you know where like Catalina. I used to live down there by Catalina Island. You can see it out the window, but there's like a lot of slippage and rock slippage. The land is so saturated with water.
Uh,
And I asked, like, you know, like, what am I feeling? And they're like, you can't ground because the land is too saturated. And I was like, well, that makes sense for grounding. How can I ground? The land is full of water. I'm just trying to stick on water. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. So I was like, well, that makes sense because I'm not like to be dry. Like right now, I kind of live in the desert.
right.
People
It
are
has a higher conductivity if you use water. I'm sure that's probably part of it. Is
right.
like, especially if it's ocean water, you'll have all
Mm-hmm.
of, you have the quartz in the ocean's water too, because that's what the sands are made up of, different types of
Right.
crystals and shells and
Mm-hmm.
salts,
Mm-hmm.
and minerals of all kinds, and I can say this, that the water consciousness that's always been awake seems to be waking up because we're able to access its frequency now. And so
Mm-hmm.
more water's trying to kind of talk to us, along with some other, like, maybe not so awesome stuff being done and behind the curtain, before Toto pulls the curtain back all the way, which is where we are right now. We're in that room waiting for Toto to
Right.
do his thing,
One
you
second.
know. I like this comment. I wanted to kind of bring this up. Lavender Sky Panther says every time they talk about Three Eye Atlas, I hear third. Three Eye Atlas is that comet that's coming in closer and closer to us and is due to arrive by the sun, and make it a trine alignment on the 1010 portal. And then
Oh,
it's
really?
supposed to Kazemi on October 22nd. So it's supposed to, like, have a grand conjunction with the sun. And as it's getting closer and closer, it's actually waking our sun up even more, because we were kind of like we were still in solar maximum, but we're declining. It's like this 11-year cycle of getting up to it and declining from it and getting up to it, like that. Well, we're kind of going away from it, even though we'll be at solar maximum for another year and a half or so. And now, as it gets getting closer and closer, all of a sudden the activity's picking up, and it's
Mhm.
expected to go right to our sun, not like impact, but it's expected to get really close to our sun. And so we're I would say that a lot of the, like, I don't know about you, or I want to bring this up real quick too, is uh it's been almost a week now where it was last Saturday, even though that feels like a million years ago. Doesn't it feel like forever ago? Holy crap. Last Saturday. So a week from tomorrow. Um it we the new moon in Virgo, and all of the freaking energy that started to come in, and then we're in this, like, eclipse corridor energy, and all, man, the kind of ascension symptoms that we went through in this house, the purging, the dizziness, the, like, crazy heart palpitations. It was intense. It was an intense week this week.
It's just starting to feel like better because we
Yeah.
went through that 8-8. It was like that week was big too. I was like, oh my goodness. And then okay, we got a nice little lull, and it was like, okay. So you're like, okay, here we go. Yeah. We get like little breaks,
Yeah.
recover time,
Kind of want bigger
and then
ones.
start. Hmm?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead.
I was saying,
I
you kind of
got
want bigger ones. There was a time when I was in the middle of that I was like, what happened to that vacation that you were all talking about? that like
Exactly.
respite period, because
And
I'm
like
not
no,
finding it. Like, where is
right?
it?
Yeah,
Did
one
I
day.
leave it in the freaking hangar? I'll go back to baggage claim. I mean,
Like no, you get one day off.
I know. And then it came back even stronger. Like it's
Mhm.
been, and so now all of a sudden now we're hitting into this. So the 7/7 portal, there's a lunar eclipse. We won't see it in the northern hemisphere, especially those of us. I think might be a person or two that could possibly see the or part of it, this lunar eclipse just after, just as the moon rises, it'll be getting done in the East Coast. But we're still going to be noticing it. We're still going to be experiencing it, even though we don't see it. And then we have another one. Guess when the solar eclipse this year is going to be?
When?
It's going to be on the equinox.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a double party.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have that one. I can't remember who can see it. I wrote it down. I have way too many notebooks full of notes that I lost track of how to find it. But I can say though when it's gonna be, and so it's gonna be really interesting. And we're already feeling it though. I'm already feeling it. I've had people come in and tell me, they're like, we're already in the eclipse corridor. I can feel it. It's like Lionsgate wasn't as bad as that last week. Lionsgate felt less, and usually Lionsgate's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, especially for other people.
Yeah,
Like, maybe because we know what's going on, we can handle things a little better, and we
yeah,
have less things being shown to you to fix.
right.
If that makes sense,
Yeah,
because we've been through so many of them. It's like so many different things usually will come up, but if we've addressed them, it's like less things need to come up to be able to fixed. In my opinion, it could be other people are gonna definitely experience that explanation, but that's how I explain it. Is that it's less things being for me, like being given to me to see.
yeah,
So even though there are some things that still need to be worked out, especially like your own issues may be less, but you may have to do a lot for the collective.
yeah,
So that those things, if you don't know what's coming up, you're like, okay, I think it can be overwhelmingly huge. But being that we know it's coming up, we can like work with it a little better.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah. It does.
Okay,
It does. You know, and sorry to kind of steer you away a little bit, because thank you for that. Was well said. Um, there's questions or comments regarding the telepathy tapes, and I just saw that, and I just realized, wait, I never gave you the chance to explain that more. So would you like to go
oh,
into the telepathy tapes?
sure, why not? I'm sure the lady that made it will be happy. I'm just kidding. No, but have noticed that Yoshi, there had like I was in a phone, and I didn't call nobody. I didn't reach out to nobody. And then I gotta okay, that's enough. Get out the Will's Me session and start this. Well, I think that okay. So what the telepathy tapes are? It's a podcast, and she's interviewing all these nonverbal kids, and they're finding out they have all these spiritual gifts, and they're finding out so many things that most people would think are like, wow, like no way kind of things.
Mhm.
But we already pretty much knew about. Some things are like outlandish, but I can give examples of everything. I've experienced this. It wasn't like a no way kind of thing. But at the same time, I kept getting things from Yoshi.
Yeah,
Like he brought me my phone and it had like telepathy tapes on the YouTube thing. So I was like, okay, I can understand what he's trying to tell me. He was happy about that I knew about that. So they're happy that that is getting out.
yeah,
So I told him, I said, okay, I'll do whatever I can to get as many people to watch it every day. If that's what you want, because clearly that's what they want. They want more people to know about it. They want more people to know that it's not
Yeah.
what they're here for. That they're not. Oh, don't treat them like second class citizens. I know Yoshi like. Um, he gets bored of people doing nonsense things and treating him like a being,
Right.
really, and colors, because he knows his colors too. If he says, I told him, go get the red bag, they didn't have your brand. He went in the refrigerator and got the red bag. I'm like, see? But at school, on his report, if you just read his report, you would think, oh, this kid don't know this. Oh, he doesn't know his alphabet. Yoshi been counting that I know of forever, right? I caught him counting a toy because he like when it goes, yay! But it does it after they get to 13. 1, 2, like you have to pass these little toys blocks, right?
Uh-huh.
So he bypassed it and just kept pushing the lever until at 13. So like he didn't listen. 1, 2, 3. You 13, yay, yay. I'm like, see, he can already count. I'm like, he's
Right.
counting. And
Yeah.
he can read. I'm like, this guy reads. People, they don't know he can read. I'm like, he can read. But how do you say these things to people that think he's not there, you know?
Right.
But I have seen him do things to where I know he can read. And I'm like, you had to be able to read to know to do certain things. Or he likes for me to download certain things on his computer. Not because he can't do it, but because he doesn't have the patience to do it.
Right.
So he'll hand it
Right.
to me because he doesn't want to like sit there while it's loading. He doesn't have the patience. So he'll hand it to me for me to click it for me to do it while he's doing whatever else. You know, I hand it when Sweaty King does it, but he has really he always shows me the telepathy tapes, and as I listen to them, I would like the further along ones become more galactic and talk about being star seeds or something like that, raising the frequency. But it's more along the lines of what we already know to be true. The
Right.
other mainstream people will have more of a time having to integrate it. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, also I was listening. He told there's transmissions in it. And I was explaining to people what that means on transmission. Like, even though we just be having a conversation, transmissions are coming through.
Yeah.
So it's like I try to explain it like a dog whistle. Somebody can be sitting there blowing a dog whistle, and you don't hear it, but the dog can. Right? It's there. It's happening. Same thing. You can have a conversation, and things can be happening in the background. Transmissions coming through. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's another part of my gig is to make it make sense. I'm like the
Right.
analogy queen. Even my patients, I used to give analogies for everything, but now I get it. Like that's a part of my gig is to make it make sense. I was like, oh, okay, got it. Because I was like,
Yeah.
why am I always saying things like that? Or why am I always giving analogies? And that's why. That's a part of my gig, is to make
It's
it
the
make
visual
sense.
aids. In fact, I get Archangel Michael when he comes in. He's always hilarious. He just always brings in jokes, and
But Bob,
and yeah, Bob, that's right. And how he comes in with about the visual aids cracks me up so much every time. He's like, "You and your visual aids," because like this visualization is a visual aid. It's like a joke. That joke started like when I was like 13. Like, but it's just a constant because we require seed vision to then move into this greater vision because we've been taught, conditioned through
uh-huh.
media, through our family, peers, teachers, so on and so forth. We've been taught to have a limited scope of expansion in our creation and in our
Uh-huh.
awareness and everything. And so, for instance, to visualize going someplace you've never been, people
Mm-hmm.
will often like, well, I need a sample of that place,
Right.
you know? And so, and why not? I mean, there are so many differences from one location to another.
Right.
It's just funny though. Going back before I digress too far, the telepathy tapes can be found on as a podcast on YouTube, and
Uh
it's
huh.
pretty
Mm,
amazing.
it is. I'm like, wow. It's about to. It's the lady that made up is like trying to raise. I don't know if she's that yet, but she's trying to raise money to make a film. But as of right now, you can like listen to the podcast, and I think that these kids, of course, have used her to make this podcast. So it's really she put it together, but it's really them, in my opinion. You know, if you know and you listen to them, it's really them. It's them speaking to you. And I asked this, talking about it's a transmission. So if you listen, I'm like, I don't need, but like, if something ever happens to me, I don't want just anybody to take care of Yoshi. I want somebody that really understands, somebody like that has listened to the tapes, or even like the smallest thing, like this movie, The Reason I Jump. I want people to understand that he's more than just a. "Oh, no, if you're gonna treat him like that, I'd rather a stranger that understands take care of him." I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll just keep building my community. And
Yeah, you want to talk about your community a little bit, like because you're doing some cool stuff. I would like to show how, because I'm really proud of you watching how what you're doing in the world. Like, so do you? I know you don't mind, so I'm just gonna say you have limited
very
mobility
limited
stuff going
mentally, yeah.
on.
I don't mind
And
sharing.
so you have your okay. You want to go ahead? I mean, I'll let you have this
Okay.
floor unless you want me to
No, it's
continue
okay.
to.
So, in this vessel, I was diagnosed with spinal cerebellar ataxia. It's a rare neurodegenerative disorder, a type 7. So, type 7 is the only one that has eye involvement. So, you gradually, like your cerebellum shrinks. So basically, everything you have to think about is affected. So your speed. Imagine being drunk without ever having a drink. So your speech, your balance, your talking, walking, mobility. Like it's hard to walk. Like everything you can think of, except things that are autonomic. Like my heart is fine. It just doesn't on its own. But things I have to think about, and then it's slowly degenerative. So my family is run rampant because people didn't know about it. Know what to do, know what to avoid, know what not to eat. They weren't conscious, so they were just going in. Plus, they were told to give their power away to somebody else, to the doctor. It's incurable. You're gonna die. So what happens? You digress and you die. Well, I don't sign up to that school of knowledge. No, dude.
Hell yeah.
No, dude. You're just another dude. I'm a lady in this body. No, thank you. So I'm gonna sign up to that narrative. There's no cure that you know of. That doesn't mean there's no cure. I'm like, get out of here. So I don't sign up for that. However, that's the disease. Is spinal cerebellar ataxia. So I'm working backwards through it to get rid of it, but I'm experiencing going through it, raising my son with my differently evolved mom with a differently evolved child. Oh yeah, I tell myself it's not easy, and I don't go to the pity party, so don't invite me because I will not come. And I don't RSV. I
Good
don't
for
go to
you.
pity parties. So I'm like, dude, if we can do this, we can do anything. Let's do it. So I'll figure it out. Whatever kind of way, I'll figure it out. we'll do it. So
Yeah.
far so good, it's working. But how I'm building community is I'm just starting, so I don't have a link or anything to share yet. But I
It's
am
okay.
like trying to build up his community of conscious people, which is very, it's like totally popular now. Yeah, I'm so happy there's more people waking up with these conscious communities. But this is where it's at, is your conscious community. So sound therapy, I love sound. I even starting to notice that I'm with sound, but sound therapy, Reiki, all these different types of people that do all these different types of healing and energetics, and like, hey, I'm trying to build that community, especially where I live, because it's like not that many people that know like this. So I'm just willing to connect the dots. I know they're here. We just have to connect the dots and bring it all together in one safe space. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's a deeply
it
needed
is.
service. You look at most parents don't really, I mean, I would say that they're more aware than they
Mm-hmm.
were in the generation I
Mm-hmm.
interacted with more when I was in that field,
Right.
but the disempowerment, the intentional uh, removal of the
Mm-hmm.
knowledge base had a lot to do with that. Um, it was absence of knowledge, not on
Right.
purpose for them, for the parents anyway. So the new parents definitely are more capable, but they're
Right.
still overwhelmed. There's a
It's a
lot of things.
lot.
You're
It's
still
not
trying to
easy.
exist in the 3D world. You got to go to nine to five job, and if you have a child who
Right.
requires you know more attention than what some
Right.
kids require, and you reach out to whatever services are
Right.
available, and they almost always start with
Right.
medication and other types of things that may not even be
Right.
needed by that. So you're offering a knowledge, wisdom, and a place, a container, and you know this wisdom is baby
Mm-hmm.
yoga. We've known about baby yoga forever, but we don't realize that how useful. And what baby, I call it baby yoga, and she's
That's
11.
cool.
That's no
We're doing
insult to
yoga
anybody
here
listening.
in his yard. Yoga in Yoshi's yard, same thing.
Right, right. And like these types of using these things for the parents, like, because we tend to have this child needs to be able to do this and this and this in order to be
Right.
normal, you know fit in, and these other kind of limiting words that we try to think are important. And so it causes
Mm-hmm.
stress and duress, and often it comes out as a sideways comment that maybe just snapping. And so some of the things that we've talked about, is that with you, I'm just talking to the audience kind of but like, about learning, teaching these parents how to calm down
Mm-hmm.
in a moment,
Right.
just to keep your cool and know that you're good, you're going to be just fine
Yeah, I like to
you know
repeat to myself when I get overwhelmed. Nothing is worth my heaven or earth. And I just breathe and keep repeating that in my mind. Because it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say it's all roses, because it's not. It's not
yeah,
easy at
yeah,
all. Especially when he can run fast and I can't. So, like, he'll do
right.
something and, like, I try to chase him, and thank goodness he's getting to the point where he'll respond to his thing. He'll respond to commands. Before, he was off the chain. Like, he would just take off. He was like,
Right.
Yoshi. He would turn around to his name maybe 5% of the time. Now, if you say Yoshi, he'll answer like, he'll respond a good 75% of the time.
Oh,
Big dip. It's a
good.
huge difference. Taking a bath used to be a negotiation. Thank goodness I'm patient. I was just sitting on the floor and like it'd be 15 minutes before you can get in, And that was a negotiation. So when he passed, like a frog waiting for a fly.
Right.
But now I just from the water, you say, Yoshi, it's time to wash your body. It'll come and he'll take his clothes off. I'm like, what's this kid? I'll jump timelines. I love it. Let's keep jumping
Yay.
timelines. It's awesome. I'm like, that's awesome. But
Yeah.
I know it's because he's getting more control of his vessel. Because he's always been brilliant, I know. But however, he's learning how to control his vessel. Because he's always been like doing things. But it's like, it's being able to navigate in this world when you're used to not doing this, like I'm not going to condense down into that little body. It's like no, so now I think he's able to. He's becoming way more efficient at controlling his body. And it's just, of course, takes time, but he's always done things right along with me. That's why I know we were
Yeah.
supposed to do this together. Because, like, he couldn't, he wouldn't, hear late milestones. He reached his milestones late. So he was set up on his own, like, late, right? But I couldn't
Mhm.
bend up and pick him up from the floor anymore. Like, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
now I can't sit up. I can pick him up like that. Was really
So cool.
we used to live in a 2-story house, and I couldn't carry him up the stairs anymore. And then all of a sudden, he can crawl up the stairs. I'm like,
Right.
thank you for see. I'm like, see, we were supposed to be together. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
And he meets his milestones when they're
Exactly.
needed. You know, it's so cool. It's so cool seeing these kids. There's lots of comments about him, by the way. Some people were saying they love his name. Yoshi sounds like an adorable, cool dude. Um, yeah, and just like it's been fun to hear. In fact, you said supposed to do
Mm-hmm.
this together at 1:11:11. That's how long we had been on this show for 1 hour, 11 minutes,
Of
11
course.
seconds. Right when
Of
you said that,
course.
yeah, I was like, whoa! I had to write that down.
Wow. Wow.
And you're a team that I would say that all of the beautiful children in your world are you know while keeping get your privacy and not telling everybody everything about you. But there is a lot of this connectiveness that is truly happening, that it's a real
Mm-hmm.
thing, and while he cultivates, so do you, these gifts and tools and abilities, and um allowing yourself to be on this journey with him and trust is really a lot. You talked about this before, and I just kind of wanted to reiterate it. You don't give power to
Right.
the curse. The way the curse gets power is to
Mm-hmm.
believe in it, to give it fear. And the curse I'm talking about are
Mm-hmm.
diagnoses. I mean, sometimes people find validation and resolve and stuff when they are given some type of a word that explains to them what they're going through. But I find that it impedes rather than
Mm-hmm.
assists in most
Mm-hmm.
situations. And if we give the power to it, then it becomes some overwhelming big thing. But if we allow ourselves to not trust, say we don't have to believe just because somebody in a
Right.
lab coat was told that's what is true doesn't mean they that's the thing, that's the trick. Okay, Maddie pointed this out to me years ago, and like 5 years ago now, but she said that she was talking specifically about politicians at
Mm-hmm.
that time. She was asking why we didn't watch the
Right.
news or something, because someone asked me about the news, and I'm like, I don't watch it. And they like started to panic, shout the news at me, and so to the purple ear flop.
Well,
um, and what she said is, um, they don't even know that they're lying. They're holograms, because the liars who lied to them are holograms, is what she said. Um, and the reason that we can't tell that they're lying exactly is that they don't know that they're lying. They're telling the lie of the
Right.
liar on behalf of the liar. And how many different mouths or voices or generations did it
Right.
go down to get to that lie? So that's why we can tell it's bullshit, but we just don't know how, you know?
Makes sense.
And same with these doctors on in many cases, like I don't hold anything against anybody, but they do. They tell us something and make us, and it creates, if we believe in it, it creates inside of us that thing. It grows that thing, makes it bigger and more uh difficult,
That's why I never used to wear my
for
white coat. I would only put it on when I wanted somebody to like if I, cause people are like, I used to prescribe say things like the Travel Channel. I'm like, cause a lot of my patients had never been outside the community, right? And I'm like, okay, we'll go home and watch the Travel Channel. But like certain things I wanted to tell people or reiterate, then I would put on my white coat because then it's something about it, then they would listen.
yeah.
Because they would put that on like all of a sudden like listening. So I'm like, okay, I want you to watch the Travel Channel and blah blah. I have all these unconventional methods of helping people or prescribing things. Because I was like, I have to look. I feel like a hypocrite. Have this stuff I've been taking. So I would just give advice. I would hopefully give advice, but I realized that because I was like sad because I was like, I would do this. I want to take this, but then I realized that not everybody is there. You're still serving a purpose. Like tell them, but at the same time, you can still give them the medication that they want because everybody doesn't believe yet. So they're still operating this 3D system. Well, you have to still play by 3D rules. Yes, give them advice. Yes, give them the underlying thing, but at the same time, it's okay to still give them medication. So I was like, okay. I just tell myself, like, okay, you're fine, calm down. Because I was like, this is not right. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody is not there yet.
Yeah.
And so I have to meet them where they are and help bring them up at the same time, but still meet them where they are. And that's where the certain medications came in. Vaccines.
Yeah.
um,
It's I'm really grateful that because I still didn't have as I didn't understand fully like I do now when I was pregnant.
sorry about that.
You said-
She should wear underwear.
Oh. She is.
That's funny. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm just really grateful that like spirit came in and stopped and gave me just enough information to not vaccinate my child. Like there are so many people that I've talked to over the past, I mean, years really, but especially lately, I've been talking to a lot of people that are like, man, I wish I knew,
Mm-hmm.
like, and not even really noticing anything that's really not good going on with their kids or something, but just having done this earlier vaccination, early life kind of thing that you're kind of pushed to do. I got the same thing. I kept getting the doctor saying, "What do you want her to die?"
That's right.
Like, I mean, yeah, and then I almost did so many times. Like I was so on the fence,
Mm-hmm.
because I had come from this medical. I also was doing the nursing degree.
Mm-hmm.
I that was the world I was in, and I am so. I took. I wasn't given all the vaccinations I was supposed to get, but it was done
Right.
against me as like like to,
You have to do this for that.
yeah. And so I'm just really grateful that whatever has happened for everybody is exactly what's supposed to occur, though, and this I've been saying the words, I'm just gonna say it again, the vaccine injury stuff is a big deal right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
and not just from the COVID stuff, but
Right.
other, and more and more we're realizing that the most of these diagnoses that we're being given that have to do with like end of life or limit us in a great way is related to parasites. So
Mm-hmm.
much that that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and
Mm-hmm.
dad's always like everything
Windex.
Windex. Windex is and like it solves all problems. And like I've got a couple of things like that, and one of them is wormwood. Like don't forget your salt, real salt. Like pink salt or your Celtic salt or whatever. But like and then don't forget your whole clove and your black walnut, then the green husk, like these are all. And then don't forget a binder. Those are things that's how I eat, like I'm aware enough that these things are like. And so you know um as I just lost my train of thought because I started to think about the fact that, it really is all of these and then so when people start to take these things, when people start to, I've talked to people who had full on crazy cancers.
Okay.
And I mean, like what I'm talking about is like, like stage 4.
Mhm.
We're talking about like, hey, you better get your business is, all resolved because and then they do parasite cleansing and they're better. I've seen this with Parkinson's. I've seen this with Alzheimer's and dementia related stuff. I've seen, they're starting to classify dementia as type 3 diabetes.
Really?
Yeah. And that's super telling because
Right.
diabetes is actually introduced into the body by big pharma. That's
Mhm.
the big, like blowing the top off stuff. We might get shadow banned for this conversation. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one of those Wikipedia things at the bottom of the screen. The checkers has decided this is false. Let me tell you what's true. But
That's true. Sure.
I hope not, though, because this was a good conversation. I hope more people get a chance to hear. I saw in the audience people commenting that they're not getting notifications again. I'm just going to tell you guys that what YouTube's doing is they're unsubscribing people from channels on their behalf without telling them. Um, that isn't the only reason that happens, but keep that in
Your
mind. And
conversation is too light. The more light you are, dark will try to shadow the light.
right.
So,
Exactly. So go back and check and see if you're subscribed. Turn on the bell if you want notifications. And I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm always usually you can bet on me doing a show on Fridays, usually about this time. In fact, I think that's why it set itself for this time, is because this is the time I usually go live on Fridays. It got set for an hour earlier than we were planning on doing.
that's okay. It worked out perfect.
That's good. Yeah. So, and then also every Wednesday I go live, and then every for Sunday as well. So if you don't get the notifications, you can be sure that I'm going to be doing it, unless I'm telling you guys I'm not. And we have a really interesting, fun calendar coming up for. We're almost in September. Like we're here. Like this is the end of the month. There's 2 days left of the
Right.
month. And then, we have the lunar occultation of Antares on Sunday. That's a great, beginning into that. The September we're going into, anyone who's going through stuff, or hasn't been able to heal all of it. And guess what? I think that's everybody. I think everybody has something left to heal.
Mhm.
You might find it's kind of filling dents here and there. Remember your minerals. Remember the salt
Mhm.
really freaking helps. It's
Mhm.
crazy how much that helps. Grounding, like you were talking about. I've been grounding in water, actually. So it's interesting you brought up the water.
Mhm.
It's something new or different that is, and the stuff at night, we're having so much activations and conversations that we wake up needing a nap from our sleep.
Mhm.
you know and we're already exhausted. Like, I don't know if you've been able to read the comments, but everyone's talking about it, like how tired they are. Shocking how shocking we all are you getting static electricity a lot more lately too? Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're always touching metal too, huh?
Right. I
So
just bust some gloves.
yeah, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, like we can be, every time we kiss goodnight, there's like this brace yourself.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. But we should probably wrap this up. We've been on for almost an hour and a half,
Okay.
and my air conditioner kicked on this just after we started, and it's cold in the house, and so I've been freezing this whole time. So I'm gonna go turn off the air because we dropped. We went like 116 degrees to 65.
Right.
So
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Thank you. This was a wonderful conversation. It was so much fun seeing everybody in the chat. If you do get a chance to go back, I put everybody, even when they're talking to each other, just to have it. I
Right.
put it all on the screen so you'll be able to see it later on.
Okay.
But
That was
um,
great.
this was an amazing
Paul
conversation.
says hi.
There is yet, what was that?
Paul said hi.
Hi, Paula. She does say hi.
She's being
She says
mimicked.
hi.
That's funny.
There is a questions about connecting with you, and so there's not yet a way to contact you, or you said you
Not
didn't have.
yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
working on it.
Cool.
I'm
Yep.
going to update everybody. I guess I'll update you since all your friends are here. Because
Okay.
I'm working on soon because of these rainbow rocks. I have to do it. And do the website for the nonprofit.
Right on. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you and happy birthday. Happy
Thank
solar
you
return
so
to you.
much. Thank you so
I'm happy that you
much.
came and you decided to celebrate your birthday with us. Like,
But
what an
of course,
honor.
what a present.
Thank you. Well, purple tail and purple ears, Trinity girl over here. Yeah,
Yes, you are. Oh, I'm
she wants to
shaking.
go outside. So it's a
Yes.
good time for us to get going. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Love you all. See you later,
Everybody love.
Rita.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
You gotta cook it.
Love you.